What's up guys, welcome back to David's Feed. In this episode, we're in Krabi province trying to catch two awesome species of pit viper. It turned out to be an amazing night with loads of adventure. Check it out. Alright, before we get into the video, please show your support for the channel by hitting that like button. As well as randomly demonetizing our videos without any explanation, for some reason, YouTube algorithms are not favouring our videos, making it extremely hard for people to find them. By simply dropping a like, you are massively helping us out and increasing our reach. This way, we will be able to keep making these kind of videos for you guys every week. Thank you. Despite David being unwell, we had planned one night in Krabi province to embark on a mission to find two awesome pit vipers. However, we would need to go to two different locations to find them, so we hopped on the bike straight after nightfall and went to spot number one.
We're here to look specifically for two species of viper, the Waglers pit viper and the beautiful pit viper. This spot we're at tonight is good for Waglers pit vipers. I found them here twice in the past, so I'm quite optimistic we might be able to find one, but you never know.
Alright, let's go.
We just got this little blue bronzeback Dendrolaphus cyanochlorus. The second one of the trip so far. Really neat little species. I think these are probably one of the most beautiful bronzebacks with that insane blue all along the body. I've been trying to photograph it a bit earlier, but this is probably the hardest species of bronzeback to photograph because they just will not stay still.
And they're so sensitive to movement and light.
Yeah, I'll get him to like sit still, and then the moment I bring my flash up, he just bolts off. So
when I spotted it in the tree, I shone my torch on it and it instantly jumped out. I'll zoom in and get some close up of this.
problem is he's not really flaring up anymore.
He is. He looks. I mean, not like super flared up, but flared up enough to be beautiful. Don't worry about that. I can really see the blue. Stunning.
Alright, I guess we'll keep herping.
Yep. Okay.
Alright, so here is a little gecko, Cryptodactylus sabraicus. Really neat little species to find. They're super pretty. This one's in really good health too. You can tell by the really chubby tail, because that's where they build up excess fat, which they store in their tails. And I do have to be careful because these, just like all other geckos, can drop their tail.
Nice.
Super pretty. Alright, so we came to this spot specifically to look for Waglers pit vipers, and we've been walking for like 2 hours or so now. We hadn't found one. We were on our way back to the bike, about to give up, and we're almost back at the parking lot now, and Rupert spotted a large female right at the top of this tree. It's like 20 meters up. I don't think we're going to be able to get it down. It's ridiculously high.
I mean, we were dreaming of finding a large female, but not like this.
Yeah, I might give it a try to climb the tree, but I'm not very hopeful that I'm going to be able to get it.
Yeah, it's a little bit steep with no branches for a very long time. Typical of Southeast Asian forest trees.
I feel like I'm obligated to give it a try though. I haven't climbed trees in a while. Torch as well, keep shining.
Okay. And
It's covered in ants too.
biting ants or little black ants?
I'm about to find out. And I'll have you know I'm a very unskilled climber.
This is not a good idea. Oh man, the tree's like falling apart at your touch.
Yeah, the tree's like, it's too thick to grab around. If it was thinner, I could easily climb it. I guess we'll have to call it a loss. Alright, so you can see clearly it's a beautiful large female Waglers Viper. Way up the tree. I mean, this is like high up. Alright, so just having found that waggler eye that was way too high up to catch, we've been looking in really high trees from now on, and we just found another snake, which appears to be some species of bronzeback, probably Formosus. You can see he's just all the way up there on the tree. Pretty big one.
Try and use the video camera to figure out the species, but I reckon I'll have to use my... because I'm not seeing any features even from here except the venter. Okay. I'm going to unpack my camera and see if I can figure out what that is.
Alright, 2 seconds ago we just found that bronzeback, and there you have it. Another large female Waglers Viper up the tree.
I'm zooming
Again,
in.
far too high to get. This is crazy. Annoying.
This one's massive as well.
This one's even bigger than the last.
I can see the bands on it, on the camera. Oh wow. This is so teasing. We're finding them, they're just too far away.
I'm pretty sure there isn't going to be any lower ones though, in this weather.
It's super, super dry.
Yeah.
This one is like equally as high as the last one as well. On an even less climbable tree, which I didn't think was possible to begin with.
With the early hours of the morning fast approaching, we got on the bike and headed back towards Krabi town to spot number 2, where we were hoping for a little bit more luck.
Alright, where are we?
We've just arrived at our second spot for the night. This is the area in which we're hoping to find Trimeresurus venustus, the beautiful pit viper. It's really dry, so it looks like it hasn't been raining for many days, even weeks. But every time me and Rupert have come here in the past, we did manage to find at least one of them. So let's hope we're going to be that lucky again tonight.
Alright, let's go.
They really like to live along these sort of steep limestone banks. And sometimes you can get them in the trees coming down from higher areas where they rest during the day. But really the place we're going to be looking is like along these steep slopes. Rupert has somehow got himself trapped in a really branchy area.
Just try and take a look at a good spot. Okay, I'm coming down.
Yikes, I'm also getting attacked by bugs. Alright, so Rupert just spotted something. What have we got?
Well, we haven't even been at the spot for more than a few minutes. And even though this spot gets a lot of people coming up here, and it's a lot of disturbance to their habitat because of that, I know one spot up here where you're basically guaranteed to see them and nobody comes here. And we do up here have a adult venustus.
Probably a male.
That's what we were hoping to find. It is a little bit high, but not as high as those Waggler eyes, so
We'll be able to get it.
Yeah.
It'll involve some climbing though. Keep your light on it.
Okay.
Really pretty one too.
Whenever you're ready, just pass the camera over to me and I think I've figured out a route for you to go.
I'll just start working my way.
Look, you can go up around the side here, all the way up to the top, and you'll just be right above it there.
try. I was
It's
thinking
like
of just climbing straight up, but there is evil looking
You're-
ants. Nah, man, this is all way too steep. I can't climb on that.
it's not as steep as here, and it's not as far, and there's less ants.
It's literally impossible for me to get up this steep.
Can I see?
I'll just work my way up there. There's like, stay where you are. There's branches where you're at. I can hold on to.
Okay. David's dying.
Yep. You just keep shining with the camera.
Okay, I need to find a bit more space. All right.
And brave the ants.
Okay, attempt number 2.
Going well. This is fine though. There's like.
All right, it's definitely gonna like disturb the snake, but I don't think it will move very far.
Yeah, vipers don't usually disappear too far once you disturb them.
Oh man, it's getting closer.
Yeah, I'll be able to reach it.
How are you actually going to retrieve it with a stick?
I'll just grab it.
All right, just be careful, all right? You got it?
Partially.
You can put it like on a branch a bit further down.
I got it. Just gonna try not to get bit.
It's not looking too defensive right now, which is good.
Strike the stick a little that I used to poke him with, but it should be fine.
Oh, this is a big specimen for Krabi.
Yeah, definitely.
This could be one of the largest ones I've ever seen here.
It does look good. I'm trying to tell if it's a male or a female.
My first thought was male, but
I did think it was a male too, but now I'm thinking it might be a female.
you can just put the snake on here and then make your way down without dying.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right.
Alright, so we've just managed to get it down from up top on the slope there. A beautiful, very large specimen. Usually the species is a lot smaller than this. Quite a nice pattern one too. Around the Krabi area they're usually quite dull, and in some other parts of Thailand they're much more beautifully colored. For here this is a quite nice one though. I'm going to see if I can carefully ease it off the stick. These aren't the most toxic of Tremorosaurus out there, but this is a very large specimen, so one of this size could definitely give quite a nasty bite.
What would the effects be?
Although probably no necrosis, although it is a hemotoxic venom, but again it's not really as potent as that of some of the other tree viper species, so you would probably get away with just really bad swelling, headaches, stuff like that.
But of course, if you have an allergic reaction, even a species like this can be very severe.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not saying you can't get necrosis, I would guess you probably wouldn't, but if you get a really good envenomation, I definitely think it's possible. Just see. He's been quite well behaved so far. He took one little strike at me while I was catching it. But overall, it's been quite nice. Look what a beautiful snake. I just love the head shape of all vipers, that really nice triangle.
Towards where your index finger is holding it, the banding is so strong there.
Yeah.
You can see why it gets its name.
Yeah, the common name for this is, I don't know if I mentioned it, the common name for these is actually the beautiful pit viper.
David's gone into full concentration mode.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what the temperament is like, although this species, from my experience, is usually quite mellow compared to some other Trimerosaurus species.
Yeah.
But of course, I am going to be careful, as always. That beautiful snake. I find that for a lot of snakes that I've worked with in captivity a lot and seen in the wild as well, that in the wild they tend to be a lot more docile than in captivity. I'm not really sure why that may be, but for many species like these, I've kept these long before I ever found them, and my captive ones even were quite bitey.
And this really is a limestone forest specialist, you know.
Yeah.
You can find it pretty much all the way up the peninsula, around limestone karsts and similar habitat.
He's getting a little bit wary of me now. I can see he's like moving a bit differently than he was before.
But even with your like hand in its face, and it's still not.
The key is just no rapid movements that'll scare it, because only a scared snake will bite.
You're handling it so gently, you know, it's got no reason to be afraid. It's feeling no pressure on its body, no real predator responses, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely one of the larger specimens I've seen in this part of Thailand.
And this species is probably the smallest viper species in southern Thailand.
In southern Thailand, yeah, definitely.
The very last time I was actually at this hill was with David. And we came to this very spot here and saw a big one up in a tree which we didn't touch. Could even be the same one.
I was going to say earlier, I feel like that might be the same one, because it was literally like in the same exact place.
Yeah, very, very close.
And the one that we saw was also a quite large one.
And if a snake, especially a large one, has a good spot with a good supply of food, there's no need for it to move. But that was 2 years ago, so
Yeah, true.
it could be the same snake, and it would be
But I
quite...
mean, this is a really good habitat for them. I'm sure there's plenty of them around as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they chop and change their location, but there's also a good chance it's the same one. Has it got any distinguishing features?
Not that I can see. It seems to be a quite perfect specimen with no like oddities or anything.
That little white part on the back of the neck is just some dirt from when we were catching it.
That's just some mud that's been dried up.
Yep, no ticks, no damage. Seems to have lived quite a fortunate life.
Definitely.
And not slender at all, clearly has a good supply of food.
Yeah, I was seeing a bunch of geckos around here earlier.
When I see snakes like this, I find it so hard to believe that people are afraid of them.
I mean, I can get people, they've like maybe seen like a photo of a scary bite on the internet and they've never like even seen a snake up close in real life. And it's also like a lot of just what you're told growing up, like people are taught the fear of snakes, you know? But if you take like some time and actually like just look at these animals up close and like try to understand why they do things and how they work.
And it's just so beautiful and gentle, you know?
Yeah, they're very curious.
Yeah. Slow moving, very gentle animal.
Animals which absolutely don't want to cause you any harm if they don't absolutely feel like they have to. Alright, well I think I'm going to have a little photo session with it since this is a really beautiful specimen. And then we'll put it right back on the branch where we found it.
Here is David doing his thing. Full setup, getting what appears to be some pretty crispy snaps.
Alright, so just gently scoop the snake. Put it right back up here where we found it, and we'll get on with our night.
by get on with our night, he means
Go to the hotel.
and go to sleep, because it's literally 3 AM right now.
Alright, what a productive night though.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get those Waggler, but
We will be back.
alright.
So we were just heading back home to the hotel. We had already finished filming for the night when we nearly actually ran over this little guy here. This is a bridal snake. Probably... Oh, he's covered in ants. I'm covered in ants.
I don't think they're biting ones.
No, they're not, but still, I don't like ants. Well, previously Dryocalamus, now Lycodon. Either Davisoni or subannulatus. They're kind of hard to tell apart sometimes.
Yeah, it's very, very chocolatey, but I'd still say subannulatus, although it looks...
Probably subannulatus, yeah. Also because I've found subannulatus here before.
Doesn't look like the other subannulatus we found on this trip.
No, it doesn't, but they are also quite variable. Anyway, let's just move him off the road, not waste too much time. I want to get some sleep.
Yeah, David is ill, remember, so...
Yeah, I have been feeling a little iffy the last couple of days.
Even in 3 AM in the morning, we're still finding snakes. Pure chance.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this slightly longer episode. Remember, we put out videos every single Thursday and sometimes Friday, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications on so you don't miss every single video. Catch you next week.